There is this common misconception that wealth is all about money, and it's not. There are other far more important factors to consider. Now, a new report has come out talking about the growing working time inequality. So in this video, we discuss why time is such an important element of wealth. I'm Martin Bamford from Informed Choice, and today sees the publication of a major new report which highlights a growing working time inequality between genders and households. So as we start to reassess our lives coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic and adjusting to what many are calling a new normal, what does this report and its findings mean for us as we consider our wealth? The report is called The Time of Our Lives. It's published by the Resolution Foundation and it's supported by Trust for London, and it looks at people's working lives and their time use over the last 4 decades. Within the report there's analysis of these working time trends broken down by gender, geography and household income, and the report also considers how these trends may evolve in the future in our post-COVID British landscape. So let's dive in and look at what the report says. Now, the first big finding is that gender divides in weekly working time have actually shrunk over the past 4 decades. And we hear so much about gender divides widening that it's really positive to see some gender inequality shrinking and almost disappearing in some cases. Women have increased their paid working week by an average of 5 hours and 18 minutes to reach an average of 22 hours each week. They've reduced their unpaid hours by 2 hours 44 minutes each week, down to a total of 29 unpaid hours of work each week. Now, men, by way of contrast, have reduced their hours of paid work by 8 hours and 10 minutes, down to an average of 34 hours a week, and they've increased their unpaid hours by 5 hours and 35 minutes a week to an average of 16 hours a week. So when we compare this to 40 years earlier, women are enjoying more paid work and men are taking part in more unpaid work, so sharing more of that burden. And as a result, we see some equality at last between men and women. Men and women, according to this analysis, are both doing approximately the same amount of paid and unpaid work each week now at around 50 hours, so equality at last. But sadly, that's not the full picture, because when we break it down and look at working hours and unpaid hours between high income and low income households, there is still a huge amount of disparity. It was women in high-income households who experienced the biggest increase in paid work, and it was men in low-income houses who saw the biggest decrease in paid work. And as a result, the gap between the total of hours of paid work between low-income and high-income households has actually grown from 40 minutes a week back in 1974 to 4 hours and 20 minutes a week in 2014-15, which is the latest period of data we have. So we're watching this wealth inequality arise when it comes to access to paid work. Now, according to the Resolution Foundation think tank, 1 in 7 workers from low-income households want to pick up more hours of paid work each week, but only 1 in 30 workers from high-income households, and that's defined as the top 25% of wealth-earning households, only 1 in 30 want to pick up more hours of paid work each week. And the Resolution Foundation say that this disparity should be a cause for concern and not simply written off as some kind of lifestyle choice. Now, in recent months and years, we've seen a huge amount of debate about the merits of a shorter working week. It, after all, was one of the Labour Party policies in the last election. It's something many groups have really pushed for. And of course, over recent years where we've had technological advances, we should have seen more opportunity for leisure time, greater efficiency in what we do. It should take us less time to get the same amount of work done. But of course, that hasn't really been the case. In fact, according to the Resolution Foundation, it's only men in lower income households who have enjoyed more leisure time during the past 40 years. Now, the past few months of lockdown life have given many of us a real flavour of what life could be like in the future. This ability to work from home and work remotely and flexibly for many people has been a real eye-opener. It's made people realise they don't need to waste so much time each week commuting to an office. And actually, in many cases, they can get more work done remotely without all of the distractions that come from being in a workplace. However, the Resolution Foundation is keen to point out that policymakers need to take account of different needs and different preferences for people at different wealth levels, different genders, when it comes to setting policies in the future around working hours and working practices. Now, I've got a quote here from George Bangham, who is an economist at the Resolution Foundation, and George said, "Debates around how people spend their time often focus on a single goal, speeding up the move to a shorter working week to enable more time for socialising, sports and hobbies. But this isn't how people's lives have changed over the past 4 decades, desirable as it may be. Men are doing less paid work while women are doing more. Both have less time for play, with childcare up and leisure time down. Instead, a worrying new working time inequality has emerged, with low-income households working far fewer hours per week than high-income ones. As many households rethink their time use in light of the lockdown, it's important to remember that while some people want to work fewer hours, others want or need to work more. And for many, control of working hours can be as important as the amount they do. As we come out of the lockdown and start to figure out our way in the new normal, we're encouraging and urging all of our clients in Informed Choice to think really carefully about the value of their time, and not just the value of their pensions, investments, savings, and other financial assets. Now, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Jim Rohn. Jim said that time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you can't get more time. Thank you for watching this video. Do like and comment, let me know what you think. I'm Martin Bamford from Informed Choice, and remember, when it comes to your money, the more you know, the faster it can grow.